Hello everyone, my name is Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Let's Talk Gaming. I was going to say Update Monday then, and that's my friend Lord Rexo's shtick. That's his series, not mine. But I was just thinking of him just before I hit the record button. I was like, Update Monday, Update. It's like Update Monday in a sense. It's me vlogging for like 5 or 10 minutes, talking about the topic of gaming. And in today's episode, we will be talking about Plague Tale Innocence, which is a fantastic game that I platinumed very recently. I'm going to talk briefly about the game itself, and then I'm going to talk briefly about the platinum itself, because I feel like you need to have two separate sort of conversations with it. The game itself, and this is without sort of spoiling for anyone in case anyone wants to play it, it is set in the 1300s in medieval France. You are the daughter of a royal, well, not royal, but a noble family called the Darun family. Your character is called Amicia, who is a 15-year-old girl. And basically, without spoiling any deaths or anything in the game, because the game is quite depressing in a sense, where the atmosphere is very dark and similar to The Last of Us, I would say. But basically, a lot of bad stuff happens at the start of the game, and you go off with your 5-year-old brother called Hugo, who has a lot of special kind of things going on with him, shall we say, and it's to do with the rats. The plague obviously is part of the game. It's in the title, literally. And you come across a few different people throughout the game. You go on a nice little adventure. It's very linear. It's not like an open world or anything. It's very linear. There are different levels. I think there's 16 in total with an epilogue, so 17 right at the end of the game, which bookends the game quite nicely, but leaves it open-ended for the second game, which they've obviously announced and done a trailer for, which is A Plague Tale Requiem, which I will be getting because I enjoyed this game a lot. The game is very good because you've literally escorted a 5-year-old boy and you're a 15-year-old girl yourself throughout this evil kind of world. There's this horrible medieval world where you've got rats everywhere play, you've got people actually searching for you, and you've got some abilities and some things you can do, but a lot of the stuff you do in the game is very stealth rated. It's very old school Assassin's Creed, which I like, where you're sneaking around behind people, you're throwing pots to sort of distract them, you're using your slingshot. You can actually take on some enemies that are big brutes that have heavy armor and stuff, but there's abilities you unlock throughout the game that help you deal with them. So the game's good. I would probably give the game an 8 out of 10, or maybe an 8.5 out of 10, possibly. So yeah, the game's good itself. I enjoyed it. I would recommend. The platinum itself is quite straightforward, but it can be slightly annoying. So you have to complete all the chapters, which is straightforward. You have to collect all these different things. So there are gifts that you can collect. I think there's like 11 different gifts. So it'll be like you go up to something that's flashing somewhere on the level, you click on it, and Amicia and Hugo will have a little bit of a dialogue for a few seconds. And it might be like, I don't know, the helmet that your father once owned or something like that. It's that kind of thing. So it's like 11 of them, I think. I think it's like 13 flowers. So Hugo loves flowers, so you pick them and he talks to you about different flowers and stuff, and that's pretty interesting. And then there's curiosities, and there's like 26 curiosities, and they're all just different things. It's like, ooh, things you've got to find in the level. Some of them are quite straightforward and you won't miss them. Some of them you will. So I did have to backtrack slightly once I finished the game and go and find them. There's chapter select in the game, so you can go back a few chapters and go back to a level to try and clear up and mop up whatever you've missed out on, which is good. And then from there, then there's there's a couple of missable trophies. They're not really missable because you can go back in chapter select and get them, but it's things like, for example, there's one level where you have to go into a library. There's two ways into the library. There's one way where there's like a couple of guards you can just sneak past and go straight in, or you can choose to fight them and go straight in, or you can go left, which is a harder way to go. There's two big brutes there, literally right on the door, so you have to like fight them and engage them in order to get through, which is a bit more tricky. But if you do that way, you unlock a trophy called the hard way, which I didn't know at the time, so I had to chapter select again, go back and do that. So there are some trophies like that that are level specific, situational specific, that you have to sort of do, which you could easily miss on your first playthrough. And then the rest of the trophies then are things such as fully upgrading your equipment and fully upgrading your slings. So like I said, I went back and did a few trophies. I think I finished the game and I had like 5 or 4 trophies left to get. Went back on chapter select, did that. Now the thing with chapter select, which is quite annoying, is that it resets you to the point of that chapter when you first played that chapter. So say now you have everything upgraded bar one thing when you finish the game. When you use chapter select to go back to like chapter 9, for example, you will start chapter 9 with only having the stuff you have when you first played chapter 9. So you'll have like only 3 or 4 things rather than like all 9 or 10 things. The same with your crafting materials, which is quite annoying. So to fully upgrade things, you have to play through quite a large section of the game to do it, which is kind of frustrating. But yeah, the game is really rewarding. When I got my platinum, I kind of cheesed it a little bit because there's apparently a bug that it still exists. This bug does, because I did it, where if you load into one particular level, you hold down the middle button, you hold down the PlayStation 5 middle button when you load into the level. You keep it held down. That opens up the crafting menu on the left hand side automatically as you load in. And when Amicia finishes a dialogue, you then press the R1 button to open up your sling upgrades. And usually you can't have 2 things open at the same time, but if you do this, it works. And then if you upgrade like stuff to do with your sling, it will then transfer across to your upgrades for other things, like your equipment and stuff. And that means then that you can basically get unlimited crafting material for everything, and you can unlock everything there and then. I did that. It took me about 10 minutes to get the timing right, and then I ended up popping the last 2 equipment trophies, and I got the platinum, and it was like, oh cool, that was fun. So overall, yeah, game was very enjoyable, very atmospheric, very good story, decent gameplay. I think I read somewhere that you can have up to 5,000 rats on screen at any time. So how they did that is amazing, and they look really vile, really well detailed. Just have 5,000 of these little rats running around on the screen at one point, and my performance didn't like suffer at all. I didn't get any like frame drops, nothing, which is amazing. So yeah, I'd recommend it, and I'm looking forward to the new one. Anyway guys, I've been Dragonheart. Have a great day, week, month, or year, wherever you are, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.